What's up, Dirt Junkies? Today I'm going to show you 3 insanely easy and awesome modifications you can make to almost any backpack for just $10 worth of stuff from Amazon. And I want to emphasize just how easy these modifications are to do to your backpack. I am not your typical pack or tent modifying type person. In fact, I've paid extra on some of my packs to make sure that they came with these modifications I'm going to show you how to do yourself in this video. Because once I got those packs, I saw just how simple they were and realized I could do it myself to all of my packs for a lot less money. I'll show you what to look for on your pack to see whether they can handle these modifications, walk you through easy step-by-step how to do it to your pack, and I'll also show you which pack of shot cord, toggles, and pulls I finally settled on after trying 2 others that didn't have everything that I needed or wanted. And I'll of course include a link to that pack of shot cord and toggles that I found most useful, as well as the other 2 in case you decide that's what you want instead. The first pack of shot cord and toggles that I bought was this one. Let me show you what's in here and tell you why it wasn't quite what I wanted. Obviously there's a bunch of shot cord. Okay. And then in here, it only comes with 2 different types of toggles. It's got these big ones and then kind of that more standard one that you're probably used to seeing. I realized when I was using this to make some modifications that I really wanted there to be sort of a clasp or like a zipper pull type of a thing on the end of these pieces of shot cord just hanging off my pack. So let me show you what I mean. So like on my Z-Packs pack, here's some shot cord. And you can see that on the end there, there's just that shot cord hanging out, which is fine, but I think it's a much cleaner look if there's some sort of a pull on the end of it. Let me show you what I mean on a different pack. On my Osprey right here, you can see here's some shot cord toggle right there, but then rather than just the shot cord hanging out on the end, it's got this pull that clamps down on both those pieces of shot cord, and I think it just has a much cleaner look. And so that's why I bought this pack. Obviously a bunch of shot cord, and then here's a bunch of different types of toggles, including these things, which is what goes on the end of the shot cord. So I was glad that it included these, but when I started using it and looking at the different types of toggles that it had, I realized it didn't have the one type of toggle that I really wanted. It has these three different kinds, which are fine, but the other pack included some that look like this. I really liked this type of toggle. It just seemed stronger, sturdier, and like it would last longer. So I needed to find a different pack of shot cord and toggles for these modifications. So what I found, and I'm actually much, much happier with, is this pack. All this stuff comes together. You get 2 different sizes of shot cord. This is the one I end up using, which is great because there's more. And then this little case has, you get a measuring tape, which is cool. These little scissors, also cool. It does have these little zipper pulls, which is something, or not zipper pulls, but you know what I mean? Something that I really wanted. And it also has this type of toggle, which was another thing that I wanted to be in whatever pack I bought and showed you. Also in here, it does have a bunch of different I think 4 different types of toggles, as well as these zipper pulls. So I'll include a link to this pack down in the description and the pinned comment, but I'll also include a link to these 2 in case you decide that this might work better for you. So that's the shot cord and toggles that you may want to get if you want to do these modifications. Let's talk about the trekking pole holders first, because that's honestly my favorite. I hate having to take my pack off, get trekking poles off the back, put my pack back on, or just not having somewhere to put my trekking poles, because sometimes I need them for a minute, then I want to put them away so I can get some footage, or because it's flat and I just don't want to hold it, or I'm trying to eat. And what stopped me from using trekking poles for a long time is I didn't have a good place to put them while I was hiking. This makes it so easy, it's so cheap, and it's actually one thing that I paid extra for on this Z-Packs pack. And you'll see just how simple this is and how crazy it was that I paid 10 bucks just for this from Z-Packs. If you've done the same thing, no shame, I did it. I'm gonna show you how you can do it on your own packs now. So this is one piece of it, and it's just a piece of shot cord here on the shoulder pad with the toggle. And then down here on the hip belt, there's another piece of shot cord, another toggle, and it's just tied there on the back of the hip belt. Super simple, and yet I paid Z-Packs 10 or 15 bucks to add this to the pack. Loved it, but realized that I could do it to basically every pack I own for 10 bucks as well. So what to look for on your pack to know whether or not you can do it. This is an REI pack. At the end of your shoulder strap, on the Z-Packs, it was probably tied somewhere up here, but for this one, Every backpack I've ever seen has some sort of connection between the padded shoulder strap and then this nylon webbing. And that's where I put the top part of this modification. You can just run the shock cord right through there. See, here it is without it. And that's where the top piece goes. And then the bottom piece has to go somewhere towards the back of your hip belt. So on this REI pack, there's this piece of webbing right here, perfectly placed for it. So that's where I put the bottom piece. Let me show you a couple other packs that will look a little bit different, but still work. This is more of a fast pack, and it doesn't have a substantial hip belt, it just has this nylon webbing. Since I still wanted to have this, I actually just tied it around the nylon webbing, and it works just fine. And then for the top part, I'm actually just using this piece of elastic right here. It works really great. If it didn't have that, I would probably, like I said, loop it around this piece of nylon webbing here, or if that didn't quite work, I could probably use a piece of this daisy chain here. So this pack's a little different, but I can still do it here. And then the last one I'll show you is this 3F UL gear. And I actually haven't done it to this one yet, but you can see you could easily put it right here on this webbing, no problem. And then down here, there isn't, so the REI one had a really nice piece of webbing right there. This doesn't have that, and so I would probably just put it right on the end of this webbing right down here. Yeah, so you can probably do this one to just about any backpack that you have. But let me show you how to do it on this REI one. First thing we got to do is cut some shock cord. I've found that 9 inches is about the length that I want for most of these modifications. And then the bottom piece, I like it a little bit longer. So I would cut it at least 12 inches. You may even want to go as long as 15 to try it out. And really with all of these, cut it a little bit longer, and then you can cut off extra if you decide you don't need it that long. So for this one, we'll cut it to 12 inches. And obviously you don't want that ugly fray stuff on the end of your backpack, or at least I don't on mine. So all you got to do with that is grab a lighter, just give it a quick little melt. Make sure you get both ends. For this one, I'm going to use 2 of these. If you're trying to spread these out among a bunch of different packs, really any toggle will work. For the top one, I definitely prefer this one. For the bottom one, I'm just going for the biggest one, because that bottom one, you're not going to be able to see it when you're trying to use it. So the biggest toggle you've got is probably what's going to work best for the bottom one. Here's our pack. So you've got a 9-inch and a 12-inch, or maybe a 12-inch and a 15-inch. Get your shortest one, and all you're going to do is run it through this little hole where the buckle is. Now, if you want, you could tie this into a knot. That's actually how the Z-Packs one is. I don't like it. I've found that I like it more if I leave it open. If there's a knot there, then your trekking poles, or my trekking poles, kind of end up swinging with that knot ending up as sort of like a pivot point. So I like leaving it open, because then it just straps both poles right next to your chest. I think it works better. Next thing you want to do is put your toggle on here. Just open it up, slide both pieces of shock cord through. Now you're basically done. If you know this is the length you want it, there's not any extra that you might want to cut off, you can tie a knot up here at the top. If you're not sure this is the length you want, just put one of these on the end of it, and then you can take it off and cut some off and then put it back on later. Now with these, sometimes they can be a little bit hard to get closed. I found what works best is if you sort of push the shock cord to the sides, close it up, hold it shut, and then pull these tight. Then I found that it stays closed really well. And there you go. That's done if you don't care about having a knot on the end of it. I like having a knot as well to kind of hold it in place. But this will hold, or should hold, while you try the length, see if you want to make it any shorter. All right, let me show you the bottom one. So I've got the 12-inch piece here, or longer if you want, and just right underneath that webbing. If you wanted to, you could knot it right there. I've found that I like it more if it's not knotted. And grab another toggle, put that on there, and again, you'll want one of the bigger toggles that you've got, even if you don't get this pack, just because you're not going to be able to see this while you're trying to grab it and use it. Put this end on, and that will hold, so you can decide whether or not you like the length. Once you decide you want it, or if you decide you want to get this off, it's pretty easy. You just gotta put a little pressure there, open it up. So I like knots in mine, just right here on the end, and pull it up towards the end so you don't waste too much of your shock cord on the knot. once you've got it where you want it, you can really pull on these. Don't pull tight on this until you're sure this is where you want it, because it's almost impossible to get untied once you pull on it that hard. Good news is you've got tons of shot cord if you gotta do it again. So that one's done. Put a little clamp on here, and there you go. That will hold your trekking poles on your backpack. You don't have to take it off to get them off. I'll show you some footage of me on trail using this exact system. It's so easy, it's so convenient, and super easy to do yourself. So yeah, there's your DIY trekking pole holders. Let's talk about the next one. This shot cord on the back here is added. This is the one that will definitely use the most shot cord. I really like this, even though there's this stretchy pouch on the back of it, and a lot of packs have that. I really like having shot cord back here as well, because then if I've got a wet rain jacket or a wet tent fly, something like that, you can strap that back there. Let me show you what to look for on your packs so you know whether or not you can do this. This pack, you can see it's got a loop here at the bottom, which I really like. Most packs don't have this loop at the bottom. If yours does, well done. But it's got these loops kind of up the outside of this stretchy pouch. Then it has, this is actually some daisy chain here as well. So you can see I went through one loop of that, and then another loop here, and then more daisy chain there, and then just a toggle at the top. As far as some other packs, this REI one is great because it actually has some daisy chain type stuff all the way up the side of this pack. So it gives you a lot of flexibility of where you want to run the shot cord through. So that's that one. And I was actually surprised at how many of my packs this would be possible on. This is another cheap pack, 3FUL gear. You can see it's got, they're a little bit hard to see, but there's loop there, and it's got these 3 along the bottom, which again is really nice. The one challenge I've had sometimes with this elastic on the back is sometimes my rain jacket or something will fall out the bottom if I haven't cinched it up enough. So these loops on the bottom are really nice for this. Another loop there, another loop here, and another loop here. So you get a really nice crisscross pattern across this one. So let me show you how to do this on the REI pack, because that'll be easier to see since it's gray instead of black. And this is one where, since it uses so much shot cord, I would wait to cut it until you know you've got it at the length you want. That means you have to do it a little bit of a weird way. I'll show you how. Wherever you want the top of your little crisscross bungee to be, start there on one side. Run it through there, and then you can decide how much you want it to go down on each crisscross. We'll go to here, and then here, and then we'll come down to the very bottom. You're gonna need some more shot cord here. Now it does have these gear loops here. I probably will run it through there just as maybe a little bit more stability or something. I really do wish, like some of my other packs, that there were a loop right here in the middle, but it is what it is. If you want to make sure that it matches, go there, and then looks like we only came up one loop there. So I'll just come up to the second one here. And then it looks like over here we skipped one and then went in the next one. So I'll skip this one, go on the next one. And then we should be in the top one, right at the top of this pocket. Now that's all run, but we're gonna need a little bit more. So let's pull this through. And that is essentially what it's going to look like. Kind of flatten it out. You probably never want this to be super loose, but better to have it too long, and then you can cut some off. We'll go right here. Again, hit it with the lighter. Donut lighter. You can use whichever toggle you want. Just gonna tie a knot to make sure I don't lose that toggle. Nice and tight. And there you go. Now you've got some additional storage space on your pack, because then I can put a wet rain jacket, a wet tent fly, something like that, without putting it on top of everything else that I put down in this pocket. So yeah, there's modification number 2. I don't know what to call that one. Kangaroo pouch shot cord mod. Easy peasy. All right, that's it for that one. Let's talk about the last one. The last modification we're gonna make is an ultralight umbrella holder. I gotta say, I wanted to use an umbrella for a while, but I never did because I've got trekking poles, I'm trying to take video or pictures with my hands. The last thing I needed was something else to hold an umbrella. It seems really nice. either to keep the sun off of me on hot days or to prevent rain from getting in that space between your back and your pack. But I just didn't want to have to hold it. So I got to thinking, if I can make something to hold my trekking poles, why couldn't I make something to hold my umbrella? I think they actually sell packs of shot cord you can buy for like 10 bucks for 2 little loops of shot cord to do this. I haven't tried those, but you can do it yourself so easy and get yourself enough stuff to do all the other modifications you want as well. Let's talk about what to look for to see if you can make an umbrella holder on your pack. Where you want your umbrella is going to be on your shoulder strap. That's where you're going to want to put it. So you got to look to see where you can attach things on your shoulder strap. This is the REI one again. You can see it's got these 2 loops on the shoulder strap that could work well. This is what I ended up doing. The straps on this one are pretty limited compared to other packs, but it still worked just fine. My Z packs, I have not done this to. You can see this has a lot more possibilities for where you could put this. You can put it along any of these daisy chains. It might take a little bit of trial and error to figure out what height you want these on. So this is the Z packs. This is the 3FUL gear. And you see it's got this strap all the way up and down. You just have to figure out a good place to put these. So maybe I'd go there and there to try and space them out. The farther apart they are, the better and the more stable it's going to hold your umbrella. Most backpacks will have something along your shoulder strap here. Like I said, the REI one, it's nice that it has this adjustable sternum strap. That's great. But because it goes the length of it, you're a little bit limited in what you can put here. But most packs will have something along here that you can attach this umbrella holder to. There's mine. I'll show you how to do it on the other strap. You're gonna need 2 pieces of shot cord about 9 inches long. So bust out your tape measure, go 9 inches. The size of the bottom one will depend on how big your umbrella handle is. This one's fairly small. 9 inches of shot cord is a little bit tight, but I don't mind that because I'm not planning to put anything bigger than this in there. So we'll go 9 inches. Here's a little bit more again. Now for this one, what works best for me is using one of these. I use this one on the bottom. I think it holds the handle better. And then the top one, you can use whatever toggle you want. Because I prefer these ones for the trekking pole holders, and these ones just don't quite feel substantial enough, what I have on the top is one of these. As I said, this will take some trial and error, so if the first place you put it doesn't quite work well, it's all right, just try again in another spot. Of the 2, I would put the longer one, if you have one that's a little longer, on the bottom. Like I said, that has to go around the handle of your umbrella. Isn't this bad luck? I don't know, maybe this is bad luck. Whoop. Which is much thicker than going around just the pole of your umbrella. So yeah, longer shot cord on the bottom, shorter one on top. All right, bottom spot here. And this is another place where I don't like tying a knot in it. I like having it open because that's going to hold the umbrella handle a lot better than if I were to tie a knot right here, because then it's just going to get that same swinging action that the trekking pole holder had. So there's one piece. Feed them through here, and then you can figure out if that length works for you. Works fine there. Since this is one, like I said, we're gonna have some trial and error, you might not want to tie a knot. You might just want to put one of these poles on the end first. Put that in. There you go. There's the top piece, or excuse me, the bottom piece. And for the top part, you want your umbrella to be as upright as possible. So that will change a little bit. You'll see on this one, I ended up putting it around both of these loops. I started it with just around this one, but having it around both seemed to hold it more stable as I was walking. So go around both of those. One of these toggles on top, run those through there, and then put a pole on the end of that. And there you go, there's the other side of it. So there you go, 3 super easy and awesome DIY pack mods you can do to multiple packs for just 10 bucks worth of stuff off of Amazon. If you want to see a review of this pack, I'm working on a review right now. When it's ready, I'll put it right here. If you want to see a more budget-friendly pack that's a third the cost but pretty similar, I'll put a link to that video right here. And lastly, if you want to help shape and support Dose of Dirt, check out the perks at Patreon right here. And remember, life is better with some dirt in it.